And there's the face-off. With the Leafs going in first in a jack shot. That was blocked in front of the Chicago net. The Hawks coming back out. Fraser ahead to Olczyk. High rising shot on the glass. And the Leafs get it out of the zone and down the ice. Icing has been waved off. So Bannerman steps in behind the net to stop it for Brown. Brown to the line to Murray. Murray was stopped. Got rid of the puck though. It went in behind the Maple Leaf net. Now Root given a jolt by Fraser. Olczyk hit him. Leafs get it out. Poddubny up the center with Fraser taking the pass and shooting. And he missed the goal on the short side. Poddubny went in there. Poddubny around the net. Bannerman took him out of the play. The goaltender moving in behind after Poddubny. Back out for Brown. Escape save by Reggett. The Hawks are in quickly though. I'm afraid he misses it. Comes to the side of the net and Reggett again takes the puck and hangs on.
Well, one thing, Bob, that the Leafs have to do in this second period is they have to spend more time in the Chicago end of the ice. They must feel very confident and very positive getting out of the first period without relinquishing the lead. And I think they have to start picking up the tempo.
Okay, Gary, here's Dave Hodge.
Fellas, Ben Wilson has been taken to hospital. Apparently he landed directly on his back on top of Steve Ludzik, and the Hawks have said that the back injury could be serious. They will take no precautions, and they are definitely concerned. He is to hospital with a back injury, extent undetermined at this time.
Quick shot by Wilson is stopped by Reggett. Another shot. O'Callaghan deflected in front of the net. They score! Savard again! Standing ovation for Savard.
Well, you can't keep great players down all the time. You know, in game one, the Leafs were doing such an outstanding job of clearing the rebound. That time, both Nyland and McGill lost sight of the puck, as did Ken Riggett. Look at how the Blackhawks are jamming the front of the net. Now, where is the puck? Savard's got it, has an easy one. That's like a layup in basketball. And for the first time, the Blackhawks have the lead.
And out come the Hats here at the Chicago Stadium. The fans get into the act after Denny Savard got into his act. That's his third goal of the night, and it's the first time that the Blackhawks have led the Leafs in this series.
About one thing about Dennis Savard, you know, he criticized himself, saying that he was not playing well against the Leafs. That the team depends on him. He has to make things go. He's the catalyst of this hockey club, and he just took matters into his own hands tonight. And right from the opening face-off, he has been a dominant force.
While we have a moment here, I want to remind our viewers in Ontario that the National and the Journal will follow tonight's game. But this game is a long way from being over yet. Ken Reggett has been beaten 3 times tonight by the one Blackhawk, Denny Savard. 2 of them, mind you, were on the power play in the first period. Daoust and Thomas had scored for Toronto. Here's the announcement. Larmer and O'Callaghan assisted on that goal by Savard.
Prior to the game, Roger Nielsen mentioned about the Maple Leafs. He said, you know, their power play all year was the worst in the league. Suddenly in the playoffs, they're doing so well, to over 20% against our hockey club. They were not a good checking team. All of a sudden, they've checked us into the ice. Katsopoulos looks like Ray Bourque. All 3 lines played well, but he said, one win by our club can turn things around. Right now, the Chicago Blackhawks are on the way to doing just that.
Thomas sliding in there, ran into the goaltender, Murray Bannerman, and I believe Bannerman has been injured. It was an accidental happening as Thomas was trying to get around the net and was upended and slammed into the post, hit the goaltender first. And you to see Bannerman, the goaltender, on the ice. See if we can get it here, Gary.
Well, it looked like, I don't know if that was Wilson that actually knocked Thomas down right into Bannerman. Like you say, the crowd, they were a little upset about Thomas running into Bannerman, but he really didn't have much to do with it. It was Doug Wilson that caused it all. It's just a little jab by the stick, or maybe Thomas even lost balance, but he took down Bannerman quite severely there, and there's, again, concern as far as the Blackhawks are concerned. Wilson gone, now perhaps Bannerman. Sauve is at the end of the bench, wondering if he has to take over.
By the way, that go-ahead goal for Chicago by Savard, his third of the night, was at 1:04 of the second period. So it didn't take the Hawks long to get the lead here in the Maple Leafs. They outshot the Leafs in the first period, as we mentioned, 17-8, and they did not let up as we started the second. They kept coming.
And how do you slow down a team that keeps coming? That's where your forwards have to play a very big role. You know, when you're checking a winger, you have to get in front of them, slow them down a little bit, and force the Blackhawks to shoot the puck in. But when the wingers are slowed down, that gives your defense a chance to gain possession and look around. You know, the toughest thing for a defense is to have his head against the glass all day with strong forechecking, and that's really what's happened to the Leafs now.
Bannerman is being assisted out of the net, and Sauve is going to put the mask on and come in here in game 2 of this series. From Chicago Stadium, this is Stanley Cup 86 on CBC. The goaltender goes in with no warm-up. That's the rule. Sauve is in there, and the face-off is to his right. Bannerman has been assisted off the ice to the Chicago dressing room. Warren Skorodenski, of course, is here with Chicago. He has been called up. Right now, the Hawks do not have a backup goaltender on the bench. Bannerman has been taken off the ice, favoring his right leg. The Hawks lead 3-2, nearing the 2-minute mark of the second period. And Thomas is in there shooting one on the boards. The Hawks trying to clear it. They do. They get it out and down inside the Maple Leaf blue line. The Hawks try to make changes. As Nyland comes up to Thomas. Thomas again dumps one in to the left of the Chicago net. The Leafs go in after it. Forechecking well. Remchuk couldn't clear it out. The Hawks do get it out now. It's wrapped down the ice. And I am afraid he was back fast. Remchuk, the speedster watching him. Here's Lutzig stealing it. Lutzig back to the line. A shot by Murray. That was deflected and just missed on the short side. And the Leafs in trouble again. Dump it out. 2.5 minutes gone in period number 2. The Hawks lead 3-2. Toronto shooting it in. That was Vines. Back Hawks back. Murray's long pass going astray. It's going to be icing. And I am pretty back to touch it. The Hawks are called for icing the puck. Cardinal centering that line. Salming moves up from the blue line to the left of Cardinal. Wendell Clark parked in behind him. And the Hawks win the faceoff. Bob Murray goes behind the net. Murray waits for Lutzig to wheel to the right. Goes the other way. Now the long pass, and Lutzig was on the fly, so Reagan will come out to play it. He kind of bumped Lutzig. And icing is called against Chicago. Fans want a penalty, of course. But the play will come back to the Chicago zone. This is Hockey Night in Canada on CBC.
And Pulford had mentioned that it's very important for us to make sure that we get right on him. Remember that play a few minutes ago where Lutzig was trying to gain control of that puck and wave off the icing? Well, Reggett tried to put up a little interference there, and Lutzig actually could have run him right over, but he avoided him, and the crowd was hollering for an interference penalty.
Near center, Podupny brought it in across the line. He was upended, fell to the ice. Inachak getting back after Fraser. Here comes Podubny bumping with Fraser. Troy Murray dumped it off the boards and got it out of the zone. Now Katsopoulos. Fraser couldn't get very far. Play is stopped at the Chicago line by Bob Murray. Ahead it goes. Olczyk grabbed it neatly. He gets in front with Fraser. Troy Murray centered it. Olczyk went after it, and the Leafs can't get it out. Hawks skating all over the place inside that blue line. Leafs go in, and the Hawks again pick it up. Come right back. Fraser is in with Olczyk again. Olczyk to the other side. Murray is tied up, and Katsopoulos takes over for Toronto. The Hawks make changes. Katsopoulos bumped off the puck by Fraser. Dubny got it up as far as center ice, and the Hawks appear to own this game at this point. They're leading 3-2. Here's Savard again. Reagan, a big save. Another shot. Reagan a save. Oh, that Savard is so quick. But Reagan made a great save with the right leg.
Well, one thing about Savard is, see, he can go to the right, he can go to the left. He just has such great control over his movements, and he turned Katsopoulos inside out and then let that shot go. But who's there? Ken Reagan. He just made a couple look easy. And there's a difference by a flop goaltender and a stand-up goaltender. When Reagan had made the first save, he was in a position to also take that second shot, that rebound, and make it look easy.
Great to see a goaltender stand up like that. Having made that big save on one skate, really, kicking out the right leg while standing on the left skate. He made that save on the hard shot by Savard. And then, as you point out, Gary was in position on the short side again. There's a shot on the side of the net, another shot by Secord. And the Hawks are taking it to the Leafs now. Thomas going in. Flattened, and there's going to be a Chicago penalty, and the crowd does not like this call. A high sticking penalty against Chicago. Hockey night in Canada, a Stanley Cup tradition. Doug Wilson gets the penalty.
I think they have a right to complain. That looked like a pretty good shoulder into Steve Thomas. Referee Fournier didn't see it that way, and Doug Wilson will go to the box. You know, right now the skating game is the difference between night and day. The Blackhawks are doing it. The Leafs are about a step and a half behind, and they can make amends for that and get this score tied with a power play goal. And already 3 have been scored in tonight's game.
We're nearing the 5-minute mark of the second period. And 5 of the Leafs is in with Lehman, but they're offside on their first move inside the Chicago blue line.
But I think everybody would have been very surprised if the Blackhawks would have come in tonight's game and played in a lethargic type of game. You know, they have picked up the tempo. They realize that, you know, they fall behind 2-0 and then have to play the next 2 in Toronto, where they've had a lot of difficulty. It would almost been a hopeless case. So to their credit, they have made things happen tonight and are deserving of that lead. They could be 3 or 4 more ahead had it not been for the work of Reagan.
As it is, they're 1 goal ahead of the Maple Leafs. And now the Leafs have a chance to tie it on a power play, but this is not a good play to start it. It goes down into the Chicago zone, and it's called icing against the Maple Leafs. It was cleared a long way. Thomas had a shot at touching it, but the Hawk player got there first. And icing against Toronto, so they'll bring it back.
Now, Dan Maloney talked to us before the game, Bob, and remember one of the comments he was making. He said it's important for us to get a good start in tonight's game. And the Leafs did that. They got off to that good start, and then they just seemed to sag. And right now, on the short end of the score, but with a power play, and that has been quite an improvement in the playoffs, that power play of theirs.
Now we've got the Leafs on the scoreboard before Savard went into action. He tied it, and then Thomas gave the Leafs a 2-1 lead, and Savard got a second to tie it. And here, in the second period, Savard, his 3rd of the night, and the Hawks lead at 3-2. And the Leafs on a power play with 1:20 left, and the Hawk penalty to Doug Wilson. Leafs can't get it in there. Cannot get organized. Now Salming dumps it in. And back quickly is Brown. Solvay out of the net. It comes to the line. Salming couldn't stop it. And it rolls all the way back into the Toronto zone. Iafrate is back there with Borje Salming. Iafrate back of the net to Salming on the move. Salming to the line to center, will shoot it in. On the other side, Inachak is moving up with Preacher. Preacher poking at it, got it to Inachak. Inachak tried to get it in front of Sauve, and the goaltender hugging the post. Sauve stops it. Murray Bannerman, who started the game, has been taken to the Hawk dressing room, and Sauve had to come in here in the second period.
Now let's keep an eye now. The Leafs do some forechecking and actually had 3 men in the corner. It looked like Inachak was trying a bank shot there off the back leg of Sauve. I guess you try anything when a goaltender comes in. Hasn't had a warm-up and probably didn't prepare himself mentally. You know, even though there's the two goaltenders, Pulford will let the guy know at least who will probably play in the game. So the other goaltender has a tendency to relax, thinking, well, I'm not going to get in the game.
Fergus 5, and Thomas. Iafrate faked the shot, and then he made a bad pass. It came outside the blue line to Salming. So the Leafs have to regroup again. 30 seconds left in the Blackhawk penalty. And the Leafs wreck 5 to center. Left wing pass to Thomas. Thomas going in. He stopped immediately on the board. Salming pinching in, trying to help. Fergus in there also. Fergus gets loose. Fergus tried to whip it in front of the net and missed that chance. Now Thomas to Salming. Salming to Thomas. Flipped the high pass and went into 5 to Thomas going in. Centered it. And Rick 5 couldn't get his stick down in time. He had the short side open. Here's Thomas. And a hit save by Sauve. Another shot. Sauve grabs it. And he hangs on. And the fans love it. And the Hawk penalty is over. He's got Yaremchuk at center now with Presley and Sutter on the wings. O'Callaghan, the defenseman, shoots it in. Kotsopoulos has to hurry back because Yaremchuk was coming in after him. The Leafs rolling it out. Lehman gets as far as center. He has Clark on the play. The shot in, and Presley is back. Clark bumped him. And the Blackhawks are going to clear it again. Yaremchuk is away. Up with Presley. Yaremchuk took a shot, hit Kotsopoulos. Now Yaremchuk in there. He was trapped and 3 Leafs come out of the zone. Led by Courtnall down the wing. Courtnall dropped to Clark. Clark centered one. Nobody in front of the net. Lehman was upended. And the Hawks go the other way. Full steam. There's Doug Wilson for Presley. Pass behind him. McGill gave him a shot in on the boards. Presley came off the boards pushing. And the Leafs, 4 of them come out. That's Nyland, the defenseman, carrying it in. Easy shot with an easy save by Sauve. 3-2, Chicago. Secord on the ice again. Larmer played it up to Savard. Savard coming in. Here's Bergevin trying to pinch in and help. Secord missed Preacher with a body check. Now Clark giving a jolt at center ice. The Hawks, Savard going in. And it's cleared out of the Toronto zone. Wendell Clark getting fired up a little bit now for Toronto. 11:23 to play in the period. Nyland going in against Secord. Hawks shoot it out. Savard couldn't get the pass. Now then, Toronto from center. McGill, nice play to Preacher. Shot missed the goal. McGill was up on the play. He stays in there, trying to set something up. Now it comes back near the line. Inachak away from Larmer. Inachak in the corner. Penalty coming up to Chicago. Nyland's shot is blocked. Secord will get a stick on it, and that'll stop the play, and there's going to be a Chicago penalty. Secord wants to get it going. He and Bob McGill are eyeing each other.
Well, Bob, we have a chance. The medical report on Bannerman is that he has a pulled groin.
Secord of the Chicago Blackhawks goes to the penalty box. The Hawks lead 3-2.
Now the Leafs probably had their best shift in the second period as they're applying the pressure. There you see the penalty with Secord applying the body slam, and so now the Leafs go on the power play. They've got to get something going here, Bob.
Minor penalty to Secord for holding. Reggett now holding it there for a moment until Salming gets things organized. Hawks lead by a goal. The Leafs on a power play again. Here they come. Salming shoots it in. It hit Brown and bounced into Sauvé. He dumped it into the corner, and the Hawks will clear it out. That is Ludzik shooting one right on the net.
There just seems to be a lot of hesitation by the Leafs. You know, they're not doing things automatically. They're thinking about what they have to do, how to exercise a pass, and it takes about 2 or 3 seconds, and that gives Chicago the time to disrupt their flow.
Five takes a shot on the boards from Brown, then another, but made a play into the corner. The Leafs. Thomas back to the blue line. Lehman faked the shot to Thomas. Lehman again. It comes this way. Salming fanned on it. Thomas is in there, and he just got a piece of it. That's all. Thomas again. Trying to get it back to the line. Salming waits. Salming to Lehman. Lehman shooting, and Sauvé made a nice glove save. I'll tell you, Gary, coming off the bench for a goaltender is not easy. No warm-up, but he's been sharp.
Certainly has, Bob, but that last play by Lehman, you know, would have been great if he could have hesitated a few more seconds and allowed one of his men to get in front of the net. But when you have that aggressive penalty killing that the Chicago Blackhawks are using tonight, you have to get rid of it and get that puck on the net before you really want to. So Sauvé really had an easy time of it.
And in the penalty to Secord, only 45 seconds remain. 9:36 left of the period.
Rick Vaive is going to be black and blue after tonight's game. He is again taking a lot of punishment by the Blackhawks. Last night it was the same situation. They kept pounding him against the boards.
Secord did not play last night. Into the lineup tonight. Suffering from the flu. That's why he missed last night's first game. And the Leafs won it. Savard, though, has 3 goals tonight, and the Hawks lead this 3-2. 35 seconds left of the Secord penalty, and the Leafs are sent back again. Salming with Inachak, Lehman, Clark, and Preacher. And it's Salming who'll bring it to center. Troy Murray chasing him. Salming dumps it in. The goaltender Sauvé out to block that pass back to the net. Salming knocked it down as he fell. Clark has it behind the net on his skate. Doug Wilson took him out of the play. Now Clark again. Bob Murray bumped him. Salming in front. Oh, and Lehman had a great chance. And he missed the shot. Never hit the puck at all. Now the Leafs are offside, but that was a great chance for the Maple Leafs. And Lehman missed it.
Well, the Blackhawks were out of their box situation there, and Lehman slipped in, and it was a perfect pass, and he just fanned on it. And that's very frustrating when you get a perfect setup. You could tie the game with one quick release, and it doesn't happen.
Boy, he had that open side, the stick side, too, of Sauvé. The goaltender was over covering the far side, and there was Lehman. All alone and missed it. Quick pass in front of the net. 8:50 left of the period. The Secord penalty is over. You see him out there now with Savard and Larmer again. Savard with 3 goals tonight. Nyland misses that one, and he has to go back. He and McGill are the 2 lead defensemen. Nyland behind the net. Secord standing out front of Reggett. Pass goes to Fergus. He was bumped. Now the Hawks are in for checking. And that was O'Callaghan giving it to Thomas before he could get going. Long pass going down the ice. This will be icing and against Chicago, so they'll bring it back to the Chicago zone. Inachak remains on there with Podubny and Freacher. Hawks win the face-off. Doug Wilson, the defenseman, back of the net, bumped by Podubny. The Hawks get it out of the zone, and Freacher hurries back. Played it ahead. Freacher again in his own zone. Hooked it on his skate, goes to center. Put it into Podubny. He was stopped cold by O'Callaghan. O'Callaghan now set it up for Troy Murray. Chopping at it was Iafrate. Inachak hitting Freacher again near center ice. Freacher waiting for help. 2 Hawk defenders are back. Now Podubny takes the pass into the corner. Lost control of it, and the Hawks clear it out. Troy Murray dropped it to the line. O'Callaghan up with a shot. And Reggett standing there just squeezed the pads and made the save. 5:25 to play in the period. Podubny's pass was in behind 5. Dubney moving up. Dubney carried on to the line, and the Hawks come back. Rolling it inside the Maple Leaf blue line. Savard went after it. Savard gets it loose, shoots. That hit Fergus. Savard again, another shot, scores! Denny Savard has scored number 4 for Chicago, and the building goes wild.
He picks up a straight pass and just double cocks it and lets her fly. Salming was out trying to block the shot, but it went just over the shoulder of Ken Riggett. Thinks that it couldn't find it. Actually, Fergus tried to just deflect it out. Couldn't reach it in time. Savard got it, so it's Savard 4, the Leafs 2. What a performance by Denis Savard.
And they're still standing, and they're still cheering Denis Savard here in Chicago.
Bob, I remember when I played for the Philadelphia Flyers, and we played it in a playoff game against the St. Louis Blues right at the Spectrum. Red Berenson, he nailed 6 that game. And I'm telling you, even though I played for the Flyers, it was great to watch. We might have a development like that here tonight, as Savard already has 4. He's got 5 minutes and 3 seconds left in the second period.
And the way he's skating tonight, a whole third period down the road. Oh boy.
Already got more goals in this game than he did in the previous 8 against the previous 9.
The Leafs now fall behind by 2 goals. Denny Savard getting an extra chance inside the Leaf line. He made no mistake the second time. And he has all Chicago scoring tonight. Here's Sutter playing one over in front, and Riggett has to cover up again. The scoring play by Savard, his 4th of the game, from Larmer and Secourt at 14:57. Hawks lead it now. 4-2 with 4.5 minutes left in the second period. The Leafs are offside on this play. Puck is in deep, but they allow the play to continue. Now they'll call it. And here they go again. Very, very quickly they got at it in behind the Chicago net. And they're all in there. Everybody but the 2 goaltenders.
It's been a very difficult night for the linesmen, having to break this up.
Somebody in there trying to get at Kotsopoulos, but he's out of reach. Thanks to Leon Stickle, who is holding the hot player. Doug Wilson is in along the boards. And there's Yaremchuk. It appears Yaremchuk was trying to get at Kotsopoulos. So there'll be more penalties handed out here. This is Stanley Cup 86 on CBC.
The world's only personalized shaver with 9 adjustable comfort settings. The new Filashave Sensatech. Set for comfort.
Spin, spin, spin the globe. It's your turn to spin the globe. Spin it, spin it, spin it.
All around the world, Siemens helps companies prosper by providing them with systems and controls that assure quality regardless of quantity. Whatever the product, wherever consumers consume, we want to help them savor life better.
Spin, spin, spin the globe. It's your turn to spin the globe.
Hi. Are you free this weekend? You're all set. Are you free this weekend? Thank you.
Rent any 2 weekends with discount and a 3rd weekend's free. We'll even pick you up and drop you off for free.
Are you free this weekend?
At Discount, you could be.
The limited edition Maple Leafs Platinum Collection is here, and you don't want to miss out. Relive the Leafs' greatest moments, reacquaint yourself with some fan favorites, or just catch up with the current roster. This 120-card collection comes complete with an autograph series, Hall of Famers, rookie rebuilds, and much more. To get your Platinum Collection, visit Center Sports at the Air Canada Centre, log on to www.leafsport.com, or call 1-888-764-4444.
Well, it's 4-2 for the Blackhawks here in the second period, and Denny Savard has scored all 4 goals. Maybe what you should have done is hired one of those famous Chicago hitmen to do a little number on him, because he just owns the ice. And he should, maybe, he's got 4. He could have had 6 or 7 by now, but Ken Reggett is standing on his head.
Kenny Reggett was marvelous throughout the whole thing. When Dennis was, what can I tell you, he was like a Gilbert Perreault or a Marcel Dion. This guy was a great, great hockey player, and he did everything in his power to make his team win, or help his team win. And we were down by a couple goals, and we'd played against this team, and we knew what Dennis could do, and he turned it up another notch. He really did, and it made our guys just kind of say, holy smokes. Now we're playing against a great player.
Danny, people like Dennis Savard and Wayne Gretzky and Mario Lemieux, they freeze people. And you watch it as a fan and you say, why doesn't someone go to him and hit him or do something or take him out of the play? But they literally freeze everybody because of the anticipation, maybe not so much of them scoring, but what they can do with the puck to pass, to make a play and everything else. But everybody seems to freeze.
Well, certainly with Dennis, his skating ability was second to none. I mean, he could spin on a dime and turn and fly, and he'd go laterally, go straight ahead, go backwards with the puck, and everything was moving. And he could, his hands were always in full control. He could lay a pass, and you'll see in this series, just absolutely incredibly. And shoot and score. I mean, the guy was a great hockey player and a real entertainment package. Containing him was not a question. It was a major chore, and if you keep him to 2, you've done well. And so far, we have done very well.
He has scored all 4 goals. The Maple Leafs trail 4-2. Let's go back upstairs now to the gondola.
Well, you see the encouragement that Pulford is giving his troops right now. I think he can smell the victory, Bob, as he's patting the guys in the back, telling them to keep this up. That's one thing that's important for the Blackhawks right now. They can't let up for a second, because in the third period of last night's game, the Blackhawks tied it up. You'd think that the momentum would switch. Quite the contrary, as the Leafs just took over and one going away. So Pulford doesn't want that to happen tonight.
Daou and Thomas scored in the first period for the Maple Leafs. 2 power play goals by Savard tied it, and Savard got 2 more goals here in the second. 4-2 Chicago. Here's Wendell Clark in front of the net. Iafrate moving up. Iafrate passes off. Another shot. They scored! Iafrate made a great play, and Lehman got the pass in front of the net. And the Leafs get closer. It's 4-3.
Well, that's the last thing that Pulford wanted to see, but what great passing play by the Hound line. Courtnall, Lehman, and Clark. They just moved that puck around. Watch this, the tic-tac-toe, and what chance does Sauvé have on that play? That's the one thing, that a puck can always move a lot quicker than the player can skate, and the Leafs really demonstrated good puck control there as they moved that around from player to player to get to within 1.
And now we welcome you fans who have seen the Canadiens take a 2-0 lead in the series against Boston. Here in Chicago, I'm Bob Cole with Gary Dornhofer. We have 3:40 to play. In the second period, it's 4-3 for Chicago. All 4 Chicago goals by Denny Savard. 2 on a power play in the first, and 2 goals here in the second period. It's been a Savard night for Chicago, and they're leading the Leafs 4-3 with 3:26 remaining in the second period.
And the Blackhawks have been the better hockey club, but the Leafs, when the opportunity presented itself and the chances are there, they have put it in. Here's the last goal. What a great play. You know, that may have deflected off the skater stick of Wendell Clark there. And
I'm sure it did. It hit his stick or skate. He was right on the edge of the crease, Gary. and he gets his second of the series.
That puck would have gone in on the Lehman shot, but Clark happened to be there, and we'll get credit for the goal.
And the Leafs are coming again. Preacher sets it up. A Dubnyk fanned on it. Didn't get a good shot away at all. Nyland out into the center ice area. Dumped it ahead. In a check. Was bumped by Brown. Puck is cleared back in by Chicago. And this will be icing against the Blackhawks. And the Leafs are starting to come back a bit now with 3:01 to play in the period.
Well, one thing Dan mentioned, he said, you know, he's been very encouraged by the never give up attitude of this hockey club, and they're demonstrating it here tonight. They just keep coming back at you and getting those goals.
Less than 3 minutes to play in the second period. Iafrate for the Maple Leafs. Being hounded there by the forechecking Blackhawks, but he got it back again and moved it ahead to Courtnall. Courtnall has to circle back, and Savard is after him. Savard is upended, and the Salming of the Maple Leafs is going to get the gate on that play. Savard of Chicago, always dangerous, upended by Salming, who'll go to the penalty box.
Well, players always set up a little screen, and Salming just kind of knocks a stick away from Savard. And I think Savard helped that out quite a bit there. That's probably an 8.9 on the scorecard. In any event, Salming goes to the box, and this is a big play for the Chicago Blackhawks. And we got another fight going. Secord and McGill, two heavyweights.
You knew earlier tonight that these two would go sometime this evening. They have been eyeing each other all night. Somehow they did not go. For whatever reason, I don't know. But here it is, with 2:31 left in the second period, and the play had moved in behind Reggett, and they were out near the blue line, and they said, well, now, let us go. And they will now go to their respective dressing rooms. Major penalties. McGill and Secord.
I wonder where Secord gets all that stamina. You know, when you've had the flu and a high temperature the day before, boy, that must be difficult just to skate up and down your wing, and yet to get involved in a fight too. It certainly takes a lot out of you.
I tell you, he didn't appear to have any flu in his right arm. He and McGill were going at it.
15, Bob McGill, 5 minutes for fighting. Blackhawk penalty number 20, Al Secord, 5 minutes for fighting.
Major penalties here at 17:29 of the second period. Secord and McGill gone to the rooms.
You know, that's something that the coaching staff of the Blackhawks talked about. He said, we really don't want our forwards taking major penalties with the Leaf defensemen. Now, that's playing right into the hands of the Maple Leafs, because it's happened in prior games and ended up costing us a victory.
The Hawks now, and front it goes. Sutter passed it off. He had a chance to shoot it. He tried to set it up at the side of the net, and Nyland had taken the Chicago player out of the play. Larmer was in close, and he got nailed by Nyland. Nyland really took him out of the play.
Well, keep your eye to the left of your screen as Nyland, and the puck will hit the skate of Bill Root, and Nyland comes in and takes care of Larmer. Then he gets tangled up in the netting. But Nyland's doing his job. He has to clear that front of the net and get rid of any Blackhawk player standing around there.
And as that play moved away from the net, Nyland gave Larmer another shot and knocked him down. So now we have 2:23 remaining in the second period. The Leafs winning the first game last night. And here tonight, the Blackhawks, led by Denny Savard, who has scored 4 times, are ahead of the Maple Leafs 4-3. And the second period winding down.
That's the quarterback of the Chicago Bears, McMahon. enjoying the telecast tonight. We've seen him throw a lot of touchdown passes this past year, Super Bowl champion.
Jim McMahon. You're watching Denny Savard and company go to work. Larmer shoots one. Telegraphed it. Root got his stick in front of it, and it went up high. Where that big pipe organ is. Largest pipe organ in the world, by the way.
Katsopoulos and Yaremchuk have just returned to the ice, serving their penalties.
Nancy Faust at work. And the big pipe organ here in the Chicago Stadium.
You know, she's facing, or her back is to the ice surface, but there's a mirror up there, so she can actually see the play as it's going on. That was quite interesting. I was up there last year, and my goodness, you need a computer to play that thing.
Leggett has to cover up. These Hawks are aggressive all evening. Sutter is in there, throwing a check behind the net, hitting Katsopoulos. And that's been the success of the Blackhawks tonight. They have come out to come hard at the Maple Leafs, and some stiff forechecking has paid off. Daou and Thomas scored for Toronto in the first. Savard got a couple of power play goals. And then here in the second, Savard got 2 more goals, and Clark scored for Toronto. 4-3, 2 minutes and 4 seconds left in the period. Savard hooked it back to Wilson. Doug Wilson pushed one in. Savard fanned on that. He had the open side. Now he plays it back. Murray shot deflected, and again into the crowd.
I guess if you ever want to get into a hockey game, the best place to sit is right along the ringside seats against the glass. And when there is a collision against the boards and the glass, boy, you feel like you're part of it. The boards are shaking, the glass is shaking. And there is some of the crowd that are enjoying that exact position.
1 minute and 16 seconds left in the Borja Salming penalty. The Blackhawks with a man advantage in the faceoff again in the Leaf zone. Savard, Larmer to his right, Sutter to the left, and the Leafs shoot it out of the zone and down the ice.
Leafs have to get out of this period and only trail by 1 goal, and then really have a serious conversation and talk and regroup for that third period.
There's Savard going again, speeding in there, jamming on the brakes, looking around. He'll try to work it loose. He does. Pass in front, scramble for it, and the Leafs were lucky to get away with that one. And it's dumped out of the zone and down the ice again.
But not only can Savard score goals, but didn't he make a nifty pass to set that one up?
40 seconds left in Salming's penalty. Larmer is in again. Troy Murray passed it back in front, and Katsopoulos blocked it. Murray again. That's Bob Murray shooting it. Wilson keeping it in. Great pressure applied by Chicago now. They're leading by a goal. They're on a power play. Salming ready to come on.
1 minute to
Here's
leave
Doug
the
Wilson
period.
ready at the line. It's chopped in front of the net. From the corner. The Hawks controlling all the way. Back it goes to Wilson. Shot. That stopped. Wilson went after it. He beat Lehman to the puck. The Leafs just draped in their own zone now. Salming ready to come on the ice in 3 seconds. And it's cleared out of the zone and down the ice, and now Salming is on. 35 seconds left in the period. And the Hawks pour it on. They lead by a goal. Rick Vaive comes in for Toronto. Vaive took a weak shot. He was tied up and couldn't get a good shot away. 20 seconds left in the period. Vaive in the corner, stopped by O'Callaghan. It's cleared out of the Chicago zone and down the ice. Nyland back there for Toronto. 10 seconds left in the period. Thomas, rink-wide pass to Fergus. Fergus shot, stopped by Sauvé. Another shot, stopped by Sauvé, and that'll do it for period number 2 here in Chicago.
Well, Sauvé really played well when he came in for the injured Bannerman. He only gave up that 1 goal. But after 2 periods, the Blackhawks lead, and it'll be a real test for the Maple Leafs to come back in this one.
The Blackhawks outshot the Leafs 17-8 in the first period, and here in period 2, they outshot them 17-11. And the score at the end of the second period is Chicago 4, Toronto 3.
This portion of Leafs TV is brought to you by Pizza Pizza, the official pizza of the Toronto Raptors and the Toronto Maple Leafs.
It's back. The Extreme Value Meal.
Yeah! Any size pizza.
Yes! Any 3 toppings.
Yes! Dipping sauce.
Yes! And now 3 free pops.
Oh, yeah! All for only $10.99.
Yummy, yummy.
Only from Pizza Pizza.
Food, keep eating. Order the Extreme Value Meal today.
Phone pizza, hey, hey, hey.
Leafs TV salutes the cable, satellite, and wireless service providers that carry Leafs TV to Ontario viewers. Across Ontario on cable, satellite, and wireless, Leafs TV.
Nicorette gum. Take it one craving at a time.
Can I help you?
Oh, thank you, young man. It's great to see young people with manners today.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. So, what are you doing Saturday night?
Impaired judgment. Another unfortunate side effect of hunger. We recommend Snickers.
Packed with peanuts, caramel, and chocolate.
I didn't get your number yet.
Snickers. Don't let hunger happen to you.
Dan Maloney, part of the action in our classic games is finding this unique pieces of videotape of games that some people have never seen. And we have some tape damage, unfortunately, right when Big Daddy Bob McGill may have turned the tide in this hockey game. He takes on Big Al Secord in a memorable Major League heavyweight bout and stands up to him. And obviously that's a big factor in this game.
Well, playing in Chicago Stadium, it's a very intimidating place to start with. The crowd, the building, the size of the ice surface, as you well know. But everybody draws their measure in a small building. There's no room to fly around. There's no place to hide. And certainly with Al Secord back in the lineup, Chicago Blackhawks were far better. And Bob had played against Al all year, and certainly with a healthy Gary Nyland and Bobby together, they just played like a team. And they're 2 young kids, but in their 2nd and 3rd year, and they finally figured out where to play and how to do things and carry on. And of course, with Kenny in the back teaching them where to go and where to stand, it was good stuff. And I will tell you right now, Bobby did a great job.
He did a great job on Al Secord. It is 4-3 as Wendell Clark has scored a goal for the Maple Leafs. And so, as we are in the 2nd period intermission, the Leafs trail by 1. And you're watching Molson Canadian Maple Leaf Classics on Leafs TV.
Today on Hockey Storybook, The Defection.
The world's only personalized shaver with 9 adjustable comfort settings. The new Philishave Sensatech. Set for comfort.
This was a defection. There was no other word for it. For a dozen years, the player had given everything for his team. It was the only way he knew. He'd been plucked off his minor hockey team and schooled in the system, and now the system had let him down. In the off-season, a reporter friend asked him about his playoff, and the player let it slip that it had been hard to play his game with a broken foot. The story came out that he had been critical of the team, even though he really hadn't been. What hurt the player was the swift and harsh action of his autocratic coach. He scolded the player and then dispatched him far from his family and friends to a terrible team. Famously slow to anger, the player's good nature was his calling card. That's what made it so shocking that one day he gathered up his papers and slipped into a disguise. He wore a heavy coat and a large hat that obscured his features. He carried just a small overnight bag across the border. Once across, he took a plane that had been arranged by another team and met with that club's managers. A deal was worked out between the old team and the new. The player had challenged the system and won. And that's how Red Kelly escaped Detroit and Jack Adams and won 4 Stanley Cups playing center for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Well, Denny Savard has scored 2 more goals. Wendell Clark's got 1 back. Leafs trail 4-3 after 2 periods of play. Bob Sauve has had to come in and take over for Murray Bannerman after he was collided with by Steve Thomas. And Steve Thomas is having an excellent playoff run for the Maple Leafs. He now has 3 goals in 2 games against the Hawks, and he's standing by. We have a very special feature on the young Leaf winger.
For Toronto Maple Leaf winger Steve Thomas, scoring goals usually comes easily. His short tenure in the NHL has seen him praised for a quick shot and a great natural scoring touch. There was a time, though, when Thomas went unnoticed. Not drafted as a midget, he was also passed over by the NHL in 3 entry drafts. Even Steve himself began to doubt that he'd play in the NHL.
That was a really crucial time because I was 19 years old, and you know, at 19 years old, if you're not owned by an NHL team or if you're not, you know, doing that well, then there's not a good chance that you're going to be playing for a career. And the general manager from the Toronto Marlies, Frank Bonello, called me up that summer after that season and asked me if I wanted to play overage. And gladly I took the job, which was a good break for me.
As an overage junior with the Marlboros, Thomas scored 105 points, which made some NHL clubs finally take notice.
As it turned out, there was about 5 or 6 teams that were interested, but no one really offered a contract but Toronto and Montreal. And Montreal, well, they more or less offered me just a tryout kind of, but Toronto offered me a pretty good contract, and you know, I couldn't punch a gift horse in the mouth.
As a youngster growing up in Markham, Ontario, Thomas didn't stand out from the crowd, even though he was always on top of his team's scoring list. He was knocked for his lack of size and defensive ability. The fact that Toronto would take a chance on him couldn't have pleased him more.
I'd always take a liking to the Toronto Maple Leafs, and you know, when I was a little kid, you know, 5, 6 years old, my dad let me watch, you know, the first period, and then I had to take off the bed after that. But I've always wanted to play for the Leafs, and, you know, here I am.
The uphill battle had not ended for Thomas as he was sent to the minors after his first professional camp.
I think that's the best thing that they could have done for me. But I didn't really like it, what they were doing, but it probably worked out good in the long run for me. I learned from Claire Alexander how to play, you know, half-decent defense. You know, just some of the, just added confidence for myself.
You know, Stevie come down there and he worked hard at it. He worked hard at trying to position himself to get back into position coming out of their end. And of course there was a few haulers at him, I screamed at him, and you know, tried to make a point to him to, you know, there were a lot of guys down there with lots of points and everything like that, but never made it to the NHL because they were lacking that part of the game.
Voted AHL Rookie of the Year, Thomas also played 18 games for the Leafs, but he didn't distinguish himself in NHL company and was sent down again.
When I did get called up last year, it was kind of for spot duty. I was more or less coming up for guys that are injured, and you know, I was sitting on the bench a lot. I didn't play with, you know, the big lines or anything like that. I was playing with guys like Jeff Brubaker and a few of the guys that hardly did play. But it was tough. I can't say I didn't get a chance to play last year, but I did. But I just couldn't get things together. I don't know why. I just too nervous or something. I just couldn't get going.
Well, you know, Steve is the kind of a kid that he works very hard all the time. And, you know, we talked earlier. He went back and forth to St. Catharines a couple of times. When he came up the last time, he said, play your game and everything will work out well for you. And he was very, very concerned about not scoring goals, but he was doing so many other things really well that he was really helping the hockey team.
For Thomas, a scoring slump became a drought as he scored only 4 goals in his last 39 games heading into last night's playoff opener. But when the night was over, the slump had ended too, as Thomas scored 2 goals and added 1 assist, his first goal being significant for more than one reason.
To have him break out of a slump last night was very key for us. His first goal on the power play was very, very important for our hockey team because I really felt Chicago was just saying, well, the power play's not that good. Let's just go and do whatever we want and we'll take our chances. And the first goal on the power play was very important.
Well, actually, before the game, you know, sweaty palms, the whole big thing, the whole deal. But I don't know, it's the first playoff series for me, and fortunately it worked out well for me. And you know, like everyone was nervous, but it turned out well for us.
A young-looking Steve Thomas with maybe the worst haircut we had on the team that year, I think, Dan Maloney. But here's a young guy, as the feature showed, was overlooked and played an extra year with the Marlies and now has started to blossom with some tremendous skills, especially being able to shoot the puck.
Stevie was he's a big guy, he's a big game guy, he's a big goal guy at the right time. And I must be very honest with you. Claire Alexander, my assistant coach at the time, since we were in Belleville in training camp, Claire just wants to, did you see him? Did you see him? Did you see him? I said, well, I saw 20 of them. What are you talking about? He said, this kid's going to play. And Stevie went down, played in St. Catharines, worked hard, played hard, come up. And he's a big game guy. I mean, there's not many guys you can look around the league and say, okay, you put this guy in a lineup, hurt, indifferent, young or old, the guy's going to do something. He's a big game guy, as he proved last year against New Jersey. And he's been in the league 16, 17 years. He's a big game guy. He showed it in this series, and a young, tough young guy.
He is, and a character guy in the room as well.
Doesn't say much, just kind of gets it done, you know.
He is a big part of what's gone on thus far as the Maple Leafs trailed 4-3 to the Chicago Blackhawks April 10th, 1986, Game 2 of the preliminary series. And this is Molson Canadian Maple Leaf Classics on Leafs TV.